The sky cracked open as fire rained down. The Thalaxi warship, once a gleaming testament to Dominion engineering, shrieked as it tore through the atmosphere of the untamed jungle moon. Inside, Commander Velsha slammed against her harness, her mandibles clenched in pain as warning glyphs flooded her visor. Her armor hissed, pressurized seals buckling. She didn't remember hitting the ground. The world blinked back into focus, heat coiling in waves off twisted metal. Her body screamed in protest as she tried to move. Something inside her leg was broken, but that wasn't the immediate problem. Her suit's filtration system stuttered. With each breath, she drew in less oxygen and more of the planet's noxious air. Her HUD confirmed it. Her internal reserve had 8 minutes left. Velsha swore in Thalaxi. She had survived orbital strikes, insurgent ambushes, and 3 assassination attempts. She was not going to die in the wreckage of her own command. She tried the emergency beacon.
Dead.
Her fingers twitched toward the manual release on her helmet, but she hesitated. The air here would liquefy her lungs. She was strong, elite, unyielding, but even her species had limits. The sound reached her before the figure did. Crunching underbrush.
Boots. Human.
Her hand shot to the plasma sidearm still clamped to her thigh, but her grip faltered. Her arm felt like it was moving underwater. Still, she aimed it, barely able to lift the barrel. The human stepped into view, raising his hands casually. Tall, maybe mid-20s. Tan skin, unruly hair. He wore an ancient, patched exosuit with a satchel of tools hanging off his belt. A salvager. Well, he said, glancing at the wreck, either you're selling fireworks, or someone really didn't want you to land gently. Velsha hissed, the sound sharp even through her helmet. The weapon in her hand trembled. Okay, easy there, Lady Mandibles, he said, taking a step forward. You don't look like you're in shooting condition. And I didn't come all this way to get vaporized by an alien lawn ornament. She activated the external speaker. Leave. Bad idea, he replied, scanning the damage. This bird's giving off all kinds of radiation. And judging by the wheezing in your voice, I'm guessing your suit's air is about to give up the ghost. She didn't answer.
Couldn't.
Her lungs were starting to burn. He crouched beside her despite the weak threat of her weapon. Name's Dev. You don't have to tell me yours. But I'm guessing you'd rather not die face down in your own helmet. Velsha tried to lift the gun again, but it slipped from her fingers and hit the ground with a dull clunk. That's what I thought. Dev reached for her chest plate, and she slapped his hand weakly. He frowned. I get it, he said. Where you come from, maybe this is the ultimate humiliation. But where I come from, survival beats pride. Every time. She was going to die. The air reserve ticked down. 6 minutes. Okay. You want to live, or you want to win a staring contest with your gods. Her head tilted a fraction.
A nod.
Dev exhaled.
Right.
Let's see what makes this fancy armor tick. His fingers were deft, surprisingly so. He pried open the emergency panel with a tool shaped like a chipped spoon. Her species' armor was designed to be tamper-resistant, especially by primitives. But this human moved like he'd taken apart a dozen wrecks before lunch. Autolocks engaged. You've got redundancies on redundancies, he muttered, sweat beading on his brow. Let me guess. First layer pops off and triggers a failsafe meltdown?
No? Huh.
At least you're not suicidal. The interior of her helmet fogged as her breath became shallow. Her vision tunneled. Dev's voice was a faraway echo. Hey, stay with me. I'm almost there. A click. Then a low hiss. Cool air touched her face. Not the jungle's toxic soup, but filtered oxygen from the last reserve Dev had redirected from a backup tank. The front of her helmet lifted with a pneumatic gasp. She sucked in the new air like a drowning soldier pulled from dark water. Her eyes, slitted and fierce, met his. Her face was no less alien than her armor, but it was readable. Anger, shame, and something bordering on fear. Dev stepped back, arms raised again.
See?
No vaporizing. You're welcome. Her breath evened out. For the first time in years, she felt vulnerable. Unarmored. Dev knelt and retrieved her sidearm, then gently set it within reach. I'm not your enemy, alien lady. Not unless you shoot first. She stared at him, still disoriented. Her voice, when it came, was raw. You should not have helped me. He shrugged.
Yeah, well.
I've made worse decisions. At least you didn't puke on me. Velshaw's lips twitched, a half-expression she barely understood. Dev stood, surveying the ruin. Rex toast. If someone's coming for you, they're gonna notice the smoke. Her eyes narrowed. They'll kill you. Let 'em try, he said. You gonna kill me now?
No.
Well then. Guess I'll stick around a bit. The two locked eyes, predator and scavenger, soldier and survivor. She had minutes to live. He gave her hours. She wasn't sure what that meant, but she wanted to find out. Dev's fingers hovered over the armor's exposed release nodes, sweat trailing down the side of his neck. Each touch might trigger an emergency countermeasure or an internal lockdown. He'd seen a Thalaxi exosuit implode once, twisting the wearer into a compressed ruin. That image wasn't helping. All right, he muttered, voice low. No sudden moves, no dumb ideas. Velshaw lay still, every breath a rasp. Her eyes tracked his hands with precision, but she made no effort to stop him. Pride warred visibly with desperation. Your kind doesn't usually let us touch this stuff, he said, selecting a tool from his kit, an ancient alloy probe that buzzed faintly. You know this is insane, right? Her voice came, hoarse, but steady. You already risked your life. Why stop now? I was hoping sanity would kick in. A small latch clicked loose. No explosions. No searing plasma. Encouraged, Dev worked faster, unlocking clamps hidden under overlapping segments of her armor. Beneath the plating, the alien's skin shimmered faintly, a smooth, opalescent surface, flushed a deep blue where bruising bloomed. Velshaw turned her head slightly away. He noticed.
Right.
Privacy and all that. Her voice was tight. In Thalaxi culture, armor is sacred. Removing it in front of another is forbidden. Unless mated or dying. Dev paused. Well, this just got awkward fast. She didn't laugh. She looked like she wanted to disappear. You're not dying anymore, he added softly. So maybe that makes us something else. Survivors? She didn't respond, but her breathing deepened. The suit's pressure seals hissed open, folding away from her chest and shoulders like metallic petals. He quickly looked elsewhere, grabbing a utility blanket from his pack and offering it without a word. She took it, movements slow but proud. Dev sat back, elbows on his knees. You're a soldier, huh? Commander. Of what, exactly? 2nd Spear Division. 73 confirmed strikes. 5 campaigns. That's a fancy way of saying you've killed a lot of people like me. She didn't deny it. Yes. Dev scratched his chin. You ever ask yourself why we keep fighting you? Velshaw's eyes, sharp as obsidian, flicked toward him. Because you refuse to submit. You fight even when logic demands surrender. Logic's overrated, he said. We don't like being told where to kneel. Even by people with plasma cannons and spacefaring arrogance. Her lips curled slightly. Arrogance earned through conquest. Dev met her gaze. How's that working out for you? You're half-naked, covered in dirt, and just got your life saved by a prey species with a screwdriver. Something flickered behind her expression, shame, maybe. Or curiosity. Why did you help me? She asked. He didn't answer immediately. He stood and walked a few paces, watching the wind stir the canopy above them. Because you looked like someone about to die alone, he finally said. And I've seen enough of that. Velshaw adjusted the blanket, hiding the damaged remnants of her armor. The jungle's heat clung to them both, and the wreck behind them hissed and spat occasional sparks. She leaned back against a twisted support beam and closed her eyes. We're taught you are dangerous because you're unpredictable, undisciplined, and because you help even your enemies. He smiled grimly. Sounds like jealousy. I used to believe you were barely sentient. He looked over. And now? Now I wonder if we've misjudged what strength really means. Silence stretched between them. Not tense, just full. Dev crouched again, checking the pulse at her neck. Steady but slow. Her body was still recovering from the oxygen starvation. "We've got maybe an hour before the recon drones catch up," he said. "That's assuming they haven't already scanned the crash site." Velsha opened her eyes. "Then we move." "You're in no shape for hiking. That leg's fractured, maybe worse." She tried to rise and winced, sinking back. Dev reached into his pack, pulled out a roll of thermobond and some salvaged carbon splints. "Let me do this. It's not the Laxi tech, but it'll hold." She nodded once, the barest concession. As he worked, wrapping the strange, glimmering skin in human medical gear, he spoke without looking up. "There's a safe point a few clicks south. Old comms bunker. Radiation shielding, food rations, water. We can hole up there while you heal." "You intend to carry me?" He looked up, grinning. "I can bench press a neutron battery." "You're weirdly light." For the first time, her mouth twitched. Almost a smile. "You're not like the others I've fought." "I'll take that as a compliment," he said, finishing the bandage. "All right, Commander. Ready to ride?" She nodded, and he slid her onto his back with a grunt. As he started walking, she murmured near his ear, "Dev, why do you keep helping?" He didn't answer right away. Then, "Because somewhere out there someone helped me once. I figure I owe the universe a favor." She didn't speak again, but her grip, resting lightly on his shoulders, was steady. Behind them, the wreckage continued to burn. In front of them, jungle shadows beckoned, thick with danger. But for the first time since she'd crashed, Velsha didn't feel like prey. She felt alive and curious. The comms bunker emerged from the underbrush like a ghost, its ancient plating corroded by time, yet still intact. It wasn't much, half buried under vines and soil, no bigger than a small cargo hauler, but to Dev, it was a fortress. He shifted Velsha's weight on his back and stepped inside. The air was cooler, dry and breathable, recycled through a solar-powered filter system he'd jury-rigged months ago. Gently, he lowered her onto a makeshift cot. Plasteel frame, old cargo webbing, patched insulation. She didn't speak but nodded, her face unreadable as ever. "You'll be safe here," he said, checking the external scanner. "At least for a little while. The radiation signature from the crash should still be masking us." Velsha lay still, swathed in the human blanket. Her armor, what was left of it, rested in a corner, the scorched plates stacked like broken scales. She seemed smaller without it. Not weaker, never that, but mortal. "You shouldn't have brought me," she said finally. "If the Dominion tracks my signal, they'll find this place. They'll kill you." Dev poured a ration of water into a steel cup and handed it to her. "They'll try. But they won't find your signal. I disabled the transponder before we left." Her eyes sharpened. "You tampered with the Laxi tech?" "I'm not just a scavenger," he replied, settling on a crate across from her. "I used to be in a militia, back when humans still thought we could push the Dominion out with homemade explosives and hope."
She drank.
Her hands trembled slightly, but she steadied them quickly. "And now I help people who fall out of the sky," he said with a crooked smile. For a long moment neither spoke. Outside, wind hissed through the trees, and some distant animal barked once, twice, then fell silent. Velsha looked at him, something distant flickering behind her gaze. "Where are the others?" He tilted his head. "What others?" "Your unit. Your people. No one survives alone this long. Not out here." Dev's jaw tightened. He looked away. They didn't make it. She understood then. There was no unit. No backup. Dev had been living alone, fixing scraps of forgotten tech to stay alive while the war dragged on above. "I've seen Dominion raids," he continued quietly. "Watched ships torch entire towns to send a message. You think your people are fighting a clean war, but you never see the blood in the dirt." Velsha didn't flinch. "War is not clean, but it has rules. Rules written by the winners." He didn't raise his voice. That made it worse. The pain in his words wasn't raw. It was carved deep, settled like sediment. I followed orders, she said, not defending herself, but stating fact. Every strike I commanded was sanctioned.
Precise.
Tell that to the village of Saran's Hollow, he said. 37 civilians. One heat signature misread as a militia cache. Gone. She didn't answer.
Couldn't.
There were thousands of names like that in the system she'd charted. Cities and settlements turned to rubble in the name of Dominion control. She hadn't looked at the people. Only the maps. I never saw it, she said. Only read the report. Strategic necessity. Funny thing about necessity, Dev murmured. It never applies when it's your people dying. Silence stretched between them again, but it felt different now. Less like a wall. More like something fragile and unspoken, waiting. Velsha shifted on the cot. You risked everything to help me. I'm your enemy. He met her eyes. You were. Maybe still are. But I've lost enough to know this war won't end because of another dead soldier. It might, though, if someone chooses different. Her voice was soft. You think I could choose different?
You already did, he said.
When you let me carry you. When you didn't shoot me for touching your armor. She studied him as if seeing something new.
Then a chime. Soft.
Subtle. Dev moved to the console in the wall. Fingers flying.
Damn.
Motion sensor just tripped. North sector. She sat up straighter, pain forgotten. Dominion? Or Scavers? Or worse. But it's fast and big. He checked the screen. A red blinked steadily closer. They found us, she said. No, Dev replied. They found me. You're not broadcasting. That means this is personal. He opened a locker and pulled out a battered plasma rifle. Velsha raised an eyebrow. You know how to use that? He chuckled darkly. Better than most of your grunts, I bet. She slid off the cot and limped to her armor. It wasn't functional, but a few pieces still fit. Shoulder guard, gauntlet, the breastplate scorched but intact. Stay behind me, he said, priming the rifle. She fixed him with a cold stare. Not a chance. Dev gave a breath of amusement. Didn't think so. The dot on the console stopped moving. 30 meters out. Velsha drew a salvaged sidearm, the grip awkward but serviceable. If we die, she said, you should know something. He looked over. Yeah. I would have spared Saran's Hollow. If I'd seen their faces instead of numbers. Dev nodded slowly. Then let's make sure the next village doesn't get added to a report. The door hissed open. And they stood, not as enemies, but as something far stranger. Soldier and scavenger, side by side.
Ready.